Good evening, everybody. Madam Roy back again. Wow, I see we have 3 watchers already. That is awesome. I knew that this was going to be pretty well attended already because we have, let's see, one, two, three, four, five. 5 people have already commented, so that is absolutely awesome. Welcome back to day 3 of this week-long live streaming experiment. Lazy Fisher Keeper, Mr. Jimmy, George Blakely, Classic Mobile Home, Stephen Barber, Chris Bartlett, everybody saying hi. That is awesome. Well, let's see. We have 2 watchers right now. I'm surprised we don't have more. I think YouTube's being a little sluggish here today. I know there's more than 2 people watching right now, so we'll give it another minute or two. Woo! I'm going to take another sip of water here. I did get my workout in today. We actually walked from here down to another part of our area. It was about 5 miles the whole walk, so that was really an intense workout. Wound up averaging about 3.2 miles per hour as well, so it was a very fast-paced walk, which is what we really need to do. As we build up, our stamina gets better. We need to keep accelerating the pace, because if you don't do that, you don't get your heart rate up enough, then you're not going to be burning as many calories. Generally, you want your heart rate in the aerobic zone, which is anywhere between 125 to like 140, depending on your age. Somebody my age should be about 135. I can do a little bit more than that, though. I've had it up to the 145, 150 range, basically, when I'm working out at the gym. And those are beats per minute. That's how fast your heart is beating per minute. You might think that's a lot, but the faster your heart beats, the more you're burning off, because the more fuel it takes to keep your body going at that point. Oh, we're up to 5 watchers. That's awesome. Hopefully we'll get a few more here. One thing I did see here that Stephen Barber mentioned, I hope you're still here, Stephen, is don't forget that the new update is out, and I have not forgotten about that. As a matter of fact, I was reading this release from howtogeek.com. It's naming some of the new features in this latest release from Microsoft. The one that really interested me is this text from your PC with your phone app, and I'll read a little bit of this. Windows 10 now includes a Your Phone app. They'll bring Windows 10 smartphone integration features together and make them easy to set up, or easier to set up. Microsoft even put a shortcut to this app on the default desktop. For Android users running Android 7.0 or newer, your phone app lets you text from your PC and instantly access photos from your phone on your PC, which is really awesome. That means if you take a picture on your phone, you don't necessarily have to take your phone and plug it into your computer and download that photo into Microsoft. Now you can access it directly from Windows itself. In the future, Microsoft plans to add syncing notifications from the Android phone. This is already available in the Cortana app, but Microsoft wants to make them easier to discover. I think that's great. Now, here's the caveat to that. There are fewer features available for the iPhone users right now, basically because of Apple restrictions. Unfortunately, Apple, for many years, has restricted what they can do with their phones, and of course Microsoft being their competitor, they're going to want to restrict that even further. But the one thing that is available is the continue on PC feature. This feature lets you use your smartphone share sheet to send a link when you're reviewing your phone, to basically review sites from your phone on your PC. So basically, if you're viewing a website on your phone, you'll be able to go ahead and send that to your PC if you want, but that's the only thing that's actually available right now. The other feature that I really liked is a dark theme for File Explorer. Basically what that means is in File Explorer, as you guys know, if you open it up, you have the white background. Now they're going to allow you to have like a gray or a black background. And that is kind of cool because especially at nighttime, you know, when I wake up middle of the night and I want to do something on my computer and I open up, say, the computer or File Explorer, all that white is blinding. So at nighttime, it would be really nice to have a darker background. I do really like that feature. I think Mom forgot that we're in the middle of a live stream right now. Mom says hi, so you guys can say hi to her real quick. 12 watchers and 7 likes. Wow, we got a lot of people commenting here. No, I have not gotten the new leaked version yet. I have not installed that on my computer. Well, it is officially released today. I'll probably do the install later on tonight and give you guys my thoughts about it in tomorrow's live stream. Ruben says I've earned a like. Thank you very much. Yes, we're talking about the October 2018 update, or the fall update, as Microsoft likes to call it. I am doing very well, Michael Schaffenberg. Very well indeed. Nick Roberts says, thoughts on old EEPC netbooks. I don't know a lot about them. I remember that we sold a few of them when I worked at Best Buy. I knew that they were really low end, and if I recall, a lot of them were actually running Linux. And back then it was either Linux or Windows XP. They're good for very basic tasks like word processing, database entry, stuff like that. But nowadays they pretty much be useless. I don't know if you guys notice, I've been brushing my teeth a little bit better, and I'm using this whitening Lavoris mouthwash because I'm a big coffee drinker. And unfortunately, when you're a coffee drinker, that means you tend to get a lot of these stains on your teeth. And it seems to be working a lot, especially on my lower teeth. I still have some stains like right here. I think I'm going to try just regular baking soda and try to get those off maybe in the next few days. But I don't want to be too abrasive, because if you do it too much, then you start to wear the enamel off your teeth, and that's not good either. Yeah, remember, we may not all be able to get the fall creator update because Microsoft servers can only handle so much. So if it's not letting you get that update now, that's because the Microsoft servers that handle that update are overloaded, and they can't, basically handle your traffic at the moment. So if you can't get it now, don't worry about it. It should show up, allow you to download and install it within the next couple of days. This has happened many times. I remember this happened when people were trying to upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10. People were so zealous to do it that the servers just couldn't handle it. Ruben says, I better create a lightweight version of Windows 10 October 2018 update so I can fit the 64-bit version to a DVD. I would just use a dual layer DVD. Should be able to put the whole thing on just a dual layer DVD. You got to remember that's 8.5 gigabytes versus the 4.7 gig. And if you have a Blu-ray burner, you could even do it on something like that. I haven't used these in a long time, but I do have these single layer blank Blu-rays, and these hold 25 gigabytes of data. I actually should use these. I think I got 3 left. You can see that there were 5 originally. I got these on clearance from Office Max years ago for $7. It says the original price was $12.99, but I think it was even more than that. I remember when these were like $30 or $40. But it's kind of a format that's failed. Not Blu-ray itself, but the Blu-ray rewritable discs. Robert Jones says, Matt, by your shirt, does this tell me you are ready for the new season of Flash? Yeah, I'll probably be watching it. Yeah, I'm wearing my Flash shirt today. I'm more of a fan because of the Big Bang Theory, and Sheldon is a huge fan of Flash. I remember that episode where they were going out trick or treating, and he couldn't wait to leave the house. He was just running around back and forth. He was going zoom, 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 zoom. I don't know how many of you guys remember that, but that's a classic. Flips May, it's easier to install from a USB stick. Yes, it is. We're installing Windows now, especially with the Windows Media Creation tool, is always easier with a USB stick, always. But you got to remember there are certain instances where you have to have a DVD. I actually have had some computers come in where you can't actually boot off the USB stick. In other words, there's no bootable functionality in the BIOS through the USB ports. In that case, of course, you'd have to use something like a blank DVD. Stephen Barber, the last update killed my Nortons and my printer software, but so far everything went well. Yeah, you can expect that to happen. Whenever you do a major update for any operating system, there are chances that certain drivers won't work. If all you lost is your Norton and your printer software, then I think you got off light because you can reinstall Norton and you can update your printer software, pretty easily. Now, that being said, if the printer software isn't working with new version of Windows, you may have to revert back to the old build and then wait until your printer manufacturer updates the driver software. Ruben says, when I want to use Windows 10, I always turn off fast startup and the power options. That's usually a good thing to do. Fast startup usually keeps a little too much in the cache memory, and you tend to have glitches with that. Windows degrades a lot quicker. Much better to do a full boot. All right. Well, I'm going to wait for a few more questions, comments to come in. Thought this would be a little funny. I was watching a video from M.E.S.T on YouTube, and it says it's titled "Halloween Candy You Should Absolutely Never Eat." And basically, what they're talking about is when you hand out Halloween candy, what candy kids actually want, and what candy that if you give them, they'll probably go ahead and egg your house over. So the number one Halloween candy that you should always hand out, Reese's peanut butter cups. And I totally agree with that. Ever since I was a kid, I love my Reese's peanut butter cups. They taste so good. That combination of chocolate and peanut butter definitely can't go wrong. Dump the candy corn. I don't necessarily agree with that because when I was a kid, we loved candy corn. We couldn't get enough of candy corn. So I think they're wrong on that one. Devour that Twix. And yeah, when we used to hand out candy, and I used to actually let the kids pick out what they wanted, the Twix was usually the ones that what they would pick out first. Trash the Smarties, but savor the Starbursts. That's interesting because usually the fruit-based candies that I handed out never went over big, at least not with the guys. Believe it or not, the girls used to really like the fruit-based candies, but the guys generally they wanted anything with chocolate in there, which is odd because I know you've heard that women sometimes going through that time of the month want to have chocolate, but that was just my observations, though I guess at that point they weren't old enough for that. Eat the rainbow with Skittles. Well, let's face it, who doesn't like Skittles, right? Keep the Snickers. Snickers, I would say Snickers and Twix are probably the number two sellers when it came to Halloween. And it says pass on the Tootsie Fruit Rolls. Notice it doesn't say Tootsie Rolls, it says Tootsie Fruit Rolls. I don't even see those anymore. They were popular for a time when I was a kid. I remember they used to have the cherry and the strawberry and the lemon flavor. Nowadays, it's pretty much just Tootsie Rolls, and most people like Tootsie Rolls. Stephen Barber likes Almond Joy. Okay, nothing wrong with Almond Joy. I'm more of a Mounds person, to be honest with you, but they're really good. Kit Kat. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't put Kit Kat on there. I know everybody loves Kit Kat. AJ Mickey plays. Hey Matt, quick question. I repair laptops, and every time I remove the keyboard to change the hard drive or something and try placing it back, it won't work. Okay. This is a very common problem with laptops. Where you got to be careful is most laptops use a very thin ribbon cable for the keyboard connector. In other words, to connect it to the motherboard. That cable is very easy to break. Generally, what most laptops have is like a little hook that you have to pull up, and then you remove the little ribbon cable. You need to be very careful when you're doing this, because if you pull that out, try to pull the cable out without removing the hook, you'll break those little pins on there, and the keyboard won't work anymore. The lazy fisher keeper says can't handle the nuts. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not. I don't like. I like nuts, but I don't like nuts with candies or nuts in baked goods. Like a lot of people like having nuts in their carrot cakes. When I get my carrot cake, I don't like them. I don't like nuts in them either. So it's just a personal preference. I386 says, yes, new laptops have the ribbon to SATA. Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm a little upset about my Lenovo laptop because that actually went bad. That little tiny ribbon cable that hooks the SATA hard drive to the motherboard wound up going bad in mine, and I actually wound up just trading that to somebody else, and he wound up fixing it, and he's using it as his laptop right now. And Ruben says the iBook G4 keyboard cable is actually simple. I'll take your word for that. I've never actually worked with an iBook G4 keyboard. Ruben wants to know, how is my HP ProBook doing? Good as far as I know. I actually haven't used it since we got back from New York. Sitting in the closet right now. I probably should take it out and do all the updates that it needs. Yeah, AJ Mickey plays. The best thing I can tell you is you just got to be really careful. If you're not comfortable doing that yourself, maybe get a friend or someone else to do it that can be a little bit more delicate. I usually don't like removing those components from laptops either. Generally, when a client comes to me that needs their laptop repaired, if it's anything more than like hard drive replacement, memory replacement, Wi-Fi card upgrades, I usually just tell them to bring it to someone else because I don't have the dexterity in my fingers to do it. I have these little sausage fingers that are not very good. That's why I could never learn to play the piano. I tried, and I can't do those scales where you have to take like your index finger and then your pinky finger and kind of go over and under like that. I can't do that. I wish I could. I know a lot of people that can play the piano. I386 is easy to change a memory hard drive. The back comes off easy. That's true if your laptop has that feature. I've worked on many laptops where you actually have to take either the motherboard out or the keyboard out to actually get to the hard drive. Those are the ones that are a big pain in the butt. Stephen Barber says, I like Dell and HP. Both are pretty good. I'm starting to love HP's gaming line way more. Might be getting their laptops. When it comes to gaming, I don't recommend laptops, period, unless you absolutely have to be mobile. You gotta remember that even a quote unquote gaming laptop is never going to be as good as a gaming desktop because there's only so much power you can pack into a laptop before heat becomes a problem. And I have seen so many of these gaming laptops with Core i7s, high-end AMD Ryzen chips go bad before their time because they overheated. And I don't care how well it's engineered, there's only so much heat a motherboard can take when you have like a millimeter of space between the heatsink, the fan, and the outside of the case. Flips May, what older Lenovo ThinkPad would you recommend with a DVD drive for a great value price? I don't know off the top of my head. There are a lot of Lenovo websites, enthusiast websites. I'd probably look those up and find out which one would be best for your needs. I am by no means an expert when it comes to older Lenovo laptops. Lazy Fisher Keeper wants to know what this streaming experiment's all about. Something I came up with last week. Basically, what I'm doing, for those of you that don't know yet, is I'm doing 1 week of live streams, once a day for this week. Started Sunday, so this is day 3. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 1 hour. I want to see how this plays out. If we get a lot of people here and we get these kind of spirited conversations, that I may continue to do it in the future. This is just something I wanted to try and kind of give back to you guys because you so much seem to like these live streams. I may need to actually end this live stream a little early because I have somebody coming for a computer, but we'll go as long as we can today. I'm going to try to make each of these about an hour. When I say about an hour, some may be an hour and 15 minutes, others might be 45 minutes. It's just going to depend on how many of you guys show up, and of course, if I have something else I absolutely have to do. Lazy Fisher Keeper, how does this compare with uploaded videos? The main difference is live streams are live. I actually go to the YouTube, basically go to YouTube and I click go live. I put in all the information and then I click go live again, and then you guys get to see me. Whereas if I upload a video later on, I actually have to film it, and then I go ahead and transfer that footage to my computer, usually one of my external hard drives. Then I edit it through Windows Movie Maker, and then I have to upload that at a later date, and that's not live. So that's basically the difference between a live stream and a video upload. And I'm telling you, I really like doing the live streams better because it's a lot less work on my part. But that does not mean I won't be doing regular uploaded videos in the future, because there are some videos that I need to knock out pretty much as soon as I can. Is there a difference in revenue? Not really. Not really. All right, I need to take another sip of water here. My mouth is very dry again tonight. Ah, and yes, it is water, spring water. I know everybody was getting on my case when I used to drink soda. They're like, "Don't drink soda; it's so bad for your health." Telling you, my typing has gotten a lot better recently. Ever since I've started texting and messaging people more. It used to be I could maybe type about 15 or 20 words per minute. Now I'm probably up to about 25 or 30. That's not bad with these little tiny short stubby fingers of mine. Robert Jones wants to know, is it warm where I'm at? It wasn't too bad today. 83. It got up to 83 right now. It's probably in the mid 70s right now. So it is warm, but not hot. I can handle that. I just can't wait for fall to come, to be honest with you. Oh my goodness, this looks so good. A good friend of mine, her name is Mary. She loves to cook, and she always shares these recipes with me. This one is for tater tot hot dish. Let me see if I can get the actual ingredients list. Here we go. 32 ounces of tater tots, a pound of beef, half a white onion, a half a teaspoon of garlic, same of salt, same of pepper, 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, Can never pronounce that. Nobody can. Third of a cup of sour cream, a can of condensed cheddar cheese soup. Never heard of that one, actually. A can of cream of mushroom or cream of chicken soup, can of corn, a can of green beans, and 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. I'm going to share this recipe with you guys because this actually sounds really, really good. If you want to get that recipe, click on the link and we'll send you guys to Facebook. I can't get. I tell you, I can't get the song out of my head. I got a Cyndi Lauper CD at a garage sale a few weeks ago, and the song is just stuck in my head. It's called "The Far Away Nearby." I think it's about a relationship that she's in, and even though the person's technically they're close together, in in reality they're far away because he's like distant to her. And it's a really cool song. If you guys ever get a chance to listen to it, look it up on YouTube. It's Cyndi Lauper and it's the Far Away Nearby. Wow. Hired Gun said woke up to 2 feet of snow here this morning. Wow. I don't think I've seen 2 feet of snow since we left New York. And there, sometimes we'd actually get 3 or 4 feet, believe it or not. It was entirely possible. Flips May said it feels like summer in Southern California. Yeah, I'm not surprised. You guys, I mean, you guys usually have really temperate weather all year long. I know that a friend of mine that lives in, what was that city? San Diego. Says that they stay like in the 70s and 80s all year long. I could handle that, except I would miss the snow during the winter. Unfortunately, I really love seeing some snow. And here in Virginia, we do get snow. It's not a lot. Some years we might only get 7 or 8 inches. Other years we might get a foot, but it's enough to crave my snow lust, I guess you could call it. Not a good word, but that's pretty much what it is. Yes, Flips May. I read it. I'm not going to read that out loud, though. Sorry. It's not going to happen. Calgary snowstorm. I'll look that up. Yeah, I have some family that live up in Canada, and I know it's not without the realm of possibility for them to get snow this time of year. All right. Let me see. What else did I want to talk about here tonight? I'm going to share that link from How to Geek, and this is all about the Windows 10 fall preview. Again, you guys can click on that if you want to read a little bit more into it. There you go. That's going to show you guys all the new features that are going to be released in Windows 10 October 2018 update. I know that's technically what they call it, but to me, it's always going to be the fall update because they do one big one in the spring usually, and then another big one in the fall. So you got the daylight savings time and then the post daylight savings time. Ruben says there'll be snow in the Sierra Nevada. I wouldn't doubt it. Those high elevations, man, they tend to get snow really early. Guys, I'm sorry, everybody. I am just so dry tonight. There we go. Yeah, Flips May. Pasadena, you guys seem to get really nice weather all year long, or so the Big Bang Theory would suggest. What do we got going on here? This is so funny. My phone, for whatever reason, I told to remind me to do this live stream every day at 7 p.m. and it's just tripping. Like tonight, it's 7:30, and now it's just reminding me to do it now. I don't know what in the world is going on. May have to just reset my phone tonight. That's absolutely ridiculous. I386 says, I'm going to get new drivers and all tonight from Asus, then going to reinstall Windows 10 with the new version. Yeah, that's another way to go. I mean, if you have all your data saved on like external hard drives like I do, and then you just use like a boot drive, then yeah, there's no problem in doing that. That's actually what I would recommend. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing that with this Dell XPS 8700 very soon because believe it or not, this installation of Windows 10 on here is actually the one from the first preview. I've never reinstalled it, so that's what going on 2-3 years now, and I'm starting to get some little glitches here or there. I probably should have done it a while back, and it's not that I'm lazy, it's just I haven't had time to do it, you know, if you guys know what I mean. Ruben says his area is going to have thunderstorms tonight. Enjoy those, man. Whenever it storms, I sleep really well. I don't know what it is about thunderstorms. Some people get anxious with them. My whole family, we just sleep really, really well through thunderstorms. I-36, yes, LOL. I need to copy my folder now. Thanks for reminding me. Well, I believe me, I've been in your shoes before. Remember to upgrade. Remember to back up everything. If you don't, yeah, that would be a big investment trying to get it back once you format your drive. I agree. Stephen Barber says it's crazy. My system has gone that long on that install Windows, but I will tell you, Windows 10 is that's just show you how stable Windows 10 is. I know people that have gone that long and have less problems than me. Now, I'm not saying I have big problems. Mainly, the issue I'm having with my system right now is around 8 o'clock every night. It tells me that I need to choose a default email client, even though I already have. Other than that, the system actually runs just fine. Interesting, I386. You said your BIOS has a erase feature, so your EEPROM is personally programmable versus only being able to do it on most computers through the BIOS update from the manufacturer. Oh, awesome! Philips May is still using a 2008 Mac Pro running Windows 7, probably through Boot Camp or something. I'm assuming. Those old Mac Pros are diehards. I mean, they just do not die. I mean, 2008, it's 10 years old, but heck, it's still capable of most tasks nowadays. Especially if you upgrade the graphics card, you know, add memory. Because I think even the 2008 versions of the Mac Pro can still be upgraded to like something ridiculous, like either 16 or 32 gigs of RAM, which is more than enough for most people. Believe it or not, most people doing basic tasks in this day and age can still get away with running 4 gigabytes with Windows 10 64-bit. A lot of people think you need these exorbitant amounts of memory, system memory, but really that's only if you're doing things like graphic intensive programs like video editing or high-end photo editing. If you're using your computer for basic tasks, really 4 gigabytes is enough. 8 gigs is really nice to have, but even 4 would suffice. Sunflowers blooming dark. Nice. I'm glad you came here tonight. I know back when I was using a 2007 white MacBook as a beater laptop, I love that quote, just like a beater car. I had to put the hard drive in a PC, install Windows, and then put it in the Mac. Interesting. Now, I am not a Mac user for the most part. I have dabbled in the past, but when it comes to installing, especially software like Windows on a Mac, I've never actually done that before. So I'll have to take your word on that. Robert Jones, Matt, is it possible to take an OS off of a hard drive without the rest of the programs? Not to the best of my knowledge. There may be some specialty software out there that would let you do that, but there wouldn't really be a reason to do that because if you're trying to move it over to a new computer, you're just going to be moving over your old problems, and chances are it won't activate, and it may not even run, because you'd actually have to have two computers that have almost identical specs for that even to work. So I don't really see a reason you would ever want to try to do that in the first place. Time for another sip of water. I could go through a whole gallon of water a day, and as a matter of fact, I usually do. For those of you that are trying to improve your health, drink at least a gallon of water a day. I'm telling you, anybody can benefit health-wise from that. That just like flushes your entire system out. It's amazing. Oh, Eric Brunhammer made it here. Hey, Eric. Let's see what he has to say. Even with an SSD, my 2011 MacBook Pro is almost painfully slow with an i5 and 8 gigabytes of RAM. That shouldn't be. I think something's got to be going on there, because an i5, I don't care what generation it is, an 8 gigs of RAM running SSD should be flying. I'm wondering if maybe you have a motherboard issue going on there. I don't know. And I vaguely remember someone telling me that the 2011 MacBooks had issues with motherboard failures. Maybe not catastrophic, but issues like that where they would run slow. You had intermittent failures, like intermittent, I don't know what the equivalent of the blue screen of death is on a Mac, but something like that. Classic Mobile Home says, I like seeing your videos. Thank you very much. And that's why I do them. Let's face it, if you guys didn't want to see these videos, what would be the point in me doing them, right? Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Ruben says, I don't know if it's starting to rain. Well, best thing to do is open a window, put your hand out like that, and see what comes in. Flips May says V Westlife should do video streams. That would be interesting. I watch a lot of his videos, especially when he reviews vintage turntables and the vintage cassette decks. A lot of people don't like doing this. You have to have a special talent to be able to think really quickly and be able to make stuff interesting. A lot of people just can't do that. All right, tubers, that is going to be it. My customer is going to be here within the next 5 or 10 minutes, and I have a few things I have to do. So we got to what, maybe 38 minutes this time. Hope you guys really enjoying these. We didn't get quite as many watchers tonight as we did last night, but hey, that's all right. This is, again, just an experiment. Please continue to like and subscribe. Stay safe out there. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.